Call me, I'll help you do that. Things to freshen up. Anyway, all right, put crap in there. You don't need to bring in your breast pump. Don't be Victoria's Secreting all up in the hospital. You don't need all that crap in your hospital bag. Come with me to Walmart. I have seen many hospital bags in my time as a labor and delivery nurse, and so we're going to go together to Walmart, and I'm going to show you what I would personally pick up off of the shelves to put in my own hospital bag if I had another baby, because I know that most Americans and Canadians, you got access to Walmart. So if you're looking for a specific list of things that you can purchase in and out from one store, this is going to be the video for you, because a lot of people just put crap in there that they don't really need. It just takes up precious real estate for the things that you do need in there and you do want in there. And I promise you, you are going to use 99.9% of the things on this list. First up, break your list into 6 different categories. Things to freshen up, things to wear, things for your boobs, things for your vagine, tech, and treats, because, I mean, we all need treats, right? And for the bag, I just use like a rolling carry-on suitcase because it just was easier to schlep it from like room to room. Because when you come in, you're going to go to labor and delivery triage. Then you might be moved to a labor and delivery room. And then after you have your baby, you might be moved to a postpartum room. So there is some traveling that comes with it. I just found that the roller bag was a lot easier. You can stack stuff on top of it. Also, you know, you can use a backpack. I'm not going to include a bag in the Walmart list. That's what I'm getting at. So do what that with you will, and do with that what you will, do with whatever. Let's go. First category, things to freshen up. I feel like we should make this like a game show. Things to freshen up. Anyway, all right. Toiletries. Now you can go as big or as small as you want to go here. I personally keep things pretty simple because really for a vaginal birth, you're in the hospital for about 24 hours. If you have a C-section, yeah, you'll be in there for 3 days. You might want to pack more things, but also some people just really love those creature comforts from home and they like their full 10-step skincare regime. So however you want to roll this, that is totally up to you. For me, I just go to the travel section and I pick things up as I might need them. Now, I don't usually use makeup wipes, but for my hospital bag, I put them in there. It just felt easier than packing like a cleansing balm and I don't know, some other steps to it. So I did makeup wipes and then a little travel size of my face wash. And then I picked up a travel shampoo, a travel conditioner. Please do not forget your toothbrush and your toothpaste. I'm telling you, the air in the hospital, very dry. By the end of this situation, you're going to feel like you have little fuzzy socks on all of your teeth. So definitely get one of those. I pick up a travel one and then I plunk it in the hospital bag because I'm going to forget something. It's probably going to be my toothbrush because I'll probably brush my teeth before I go to the hospital and then I'll be like, where is my toothbrush? So you can grab one of those. If you don't want to actually purchase things from the travel section and you want your own shampoo, your own conditioner, you can definitely get some of those little travel bottles and then you can just kind of plunk them in there into your toiletries. Also in this section would be chapstick. Chapstick is a must because again, that hospital air, very dry. And if you're doing lots of breathing or mouth breathing, your lips are going to be like sandpaper and that's not enjoyable for anybody. So definitely pop a chapstick in there or some sort of a lip chap product that you like. I like Laneige. I don't know if they make little travel guys, but they should. Hey, Laneige, you should make some of your lip masks like itty bitty little pots for the people that are giving birth and they can just plunk it in their hospital bag. Call me, I'll help you do that. Anyway, chapstick. And then of course, if you have long hair or your hair gets in your way, make sure you put a couple of ponytail holders because I mean, for sure one will bust when you go to put it in your hair and then you want to have a backup or like hair bands if you would rather have a hairband. But what you don't want is like your hair all up in your jam while you're trying to push a baby out or while your baby has all its vernix on it and you're like rubbing your hair in it or when you're trying to breastfeed. So definitely something to put your hair back in. Don't forget deodorant. I always get super self-conscious if I'm like, dang, I forgot to put on deodorant today. And then like a hairbrush, because if you do have a shower, then you're going to either have to finger pick it, but you can bring a hairbrush. You can get really cute little travel ones, but that's kind of all I would put in the freshening up section of my hospital bag. Next category, things to wear. All right, I keep this simple as well. You're going to see a theme here that I'm pretty minimalist when it comes to my hospital bag, and that's just because I've seen what really works and what really gets used. So for me, definitely make sure you put in a nursing bra or like another type of bra, but make sure it does not have an underwire. Now your milk isn't going to have transition yet. It's still going to be colostrum. You're not going to be spraying breast milk in most situations, but definitely your breast will likely feel heavier and fuller because I mean, just in pregnancy alone, our breasts, they do get denser and really heavy. But if your milk is starting to do that transition and you're accessing your breast all the time, it might feel really good to have a supportive bra. No underwire. Don't be Don't be Victoria's Secreting all up in the hospital. Give your boobs a break, okay? Next thing I put in there is a nice pair of sweat-wicking pajamas. Bonus points, make sure it has a stretchy waistband, especially if you're having a C-section. You don't want any tight waistbands across your incision. And then if the shirt can unbutton, it's really, really good for skin to skin, and it's really, really good for breastfeeding. And then for me, I actually wore those pajamas in, because if the waistband is stretchy, then it can accommodate a pregnant belly too. And then I wore them back home as my going home outfit. It was just super, super easy. It was one less thing I had to pack. However, a lot of people love like a special going home outfit for themselves. So if that's something that you want, you are also going to want to put that into your hospital bag here. Fuzzy socks for me are a must because I hate having cold feet. But here's a tip. Don't put fuzzy socks that you're overly attached to into your hospital bag. Like if there's really expensive cashmere socks, probably don't. I don't know if they make those, but don't put them in your hospital bag because depending on what part of the labor and birth process you wear those fuzzy socks for, you might end up having to throw them out because they might get a little bit dirty. Also for your feet, I would grab a pair of cheap flip-flops like these ones, something that you can actually throw out if you don't want to bring them home because you don't want to be walking barefoot on a hospital floor. If you saw what landed on hospital floors, you would definitely heed this advice. But also the shower. You're going to be up in the hospital shower if you do take your postpartum victory shower in the hospital, and so it's nice to have flip-flops on your feet for that. But even better, you might be really swollen after you have your baby. That's pretty common, and so if your feet are swollen, flip-flops are really, really nice to be able to just slide your feet into after birth. Next section, boobs. We already talked about a supportive nursing bra. I like nursing bras over like a sports bra just because that ease of access. If you are breastfeeding your baby and you're doing lots of skin to skin, it just makes it so much easier for them to latch. And really, we should be latching our baby on demand very, very often in those first few days postpartum. That's going to help your milk to transition. So I like having the ability to unclip it and pull it down or just pull it to the side. So we've already talked about that. Now you want to take care of your nipples. So I would either grab a lanolin like this one from Lanolin. This one's great because it's hypoallergenic. Or I would grab a silver nursing cup. Both are really, really amazing. It just depends on what camp you want to fall into. Just make sure that you're not using both. Please don't put lanolin on your nipples and then put a silver nursing cup because we're sort of doing the opposite of what we want to do. So pick one or the other. If you do go with the lanolin, the purple tube, that could actually double as your chapstick. So you could take one thing off from that other section and just use that on your lips. But also if you do that, you want to put in one pair of nursing pads, not because your breast milk is going to be in copiously and you're going to be leaking, like we mentioned. That's probably going to take around 3 to 5 days to happen, but lanolin can add some grease stains to any fabric that it comes up against, so it's just nice to have something between, your nipples and your nursing bra, so a nursing pad in there, and that's pretty much all you need in the boobs section. A lot of people will bring in their breast pump, and I'm going to tell you, you don't need to bring in your breast pump. Actually, in the hospital, we have like the best breast pumps. We have the Cadillac of breast pumps in the hospital. They are known as multi-user pumps. They are the most effective breast pumps. So if you do need to pump, your hospital will have everything that you need to be able to utilize that breast pump. You don't need to bring your own in because they can be quite clunky. Like the boxes can be quite big on them, and that's just real estate that you're then giving up towards a breast pump that you probably won't even unbox. So I would leave the breast pump at home. Oh, people in the section also asked me, should I pack a nipple shield in case I need one? And I'm going to say, no, don't pack one. Not because I don't like them. I actually use a nipple shield with my first, and thank goodness that I had that. I just say that because if you need one, the hospital will provide it, and they will provide the correct size nipple shield, and it will come with education from an IBCLC, because we shouldn't just be putting nipple shields on all willy-nilly, the wrong size, not putting them on properly, and not caring for them, cleaning them properly, and then not having the steps to be successful while using a nipple shield, and the steps on how you can wean off of the nipple shield. So nipple shields are great, but generally speaking, your hospital will have them alongside with that professional to help you with it. Here we are, we have reached the Vaginal section, the undercarriage section. This is the main event, people. We need to treat your perineum like the queen that she is. There's going to be 2 camps that you can pack for here. One is going to be your mesh panties and your super pad, and I will go over how to make a super pad for you, don't worry. And then the other camp would be the all-in-one disposable adult diapers. What I think you should do before you give birth, you should probably try both of these setups if you can, because I personally really, really liked the mesh panties and the super pad. I felt like it fit my body better. I felt like it was really more snug and secure up against my perineum. I don't like the feeling of like dripping or like that jellyfish sliding out sort of sensation when there's a gap between my perineum and the pad. And I found with the adult diapers, it left more of a gap. It was less secure. But you know, you're going to figure out what works best for you. And then you're going to want to pack those in your hospital bag. Both of those you can get on the shelves of Walmart. And if you can't get the mesh panties at Walmart, you can definitely get them on Amazon. And I will also say this, most hospitals will provide all of this stuff for you. But if you are specific to one brand or one feeling or one side of the equation, you're going to want to pack that for yourself, and you're going to want to probably pack about 4 or 5 setups. And if you want to know how to make a super pad, here you go. First, take your blue Chucks pads, but if you're shopping at Walmart, you're looking for puppy pads, and you're going to fold it vertically kind of in 3 like this, and then you're going to slap 2 overnight maxi pads in there. Now, on your shopping list, you also want to look for some sort of a numbing agent like Dermoplast, and then also something with witch hazel in it. I love the Tux pads, and then you're going to apply both to your super pads. So first, you're going to lay down your Tux pads like a little bit like salami at a Subway sandwich, and then you are going to spray that numbing agent on top of those Tux pads, and if you want a little extra burst, you can actually spray this on your perineum as well. So you either have your puppy pads and your maxi pads, or you're going to grab your all-in-one disposables. So Always has a really great disposable underwear, but also Depends. Depends makes a great all-in-one piece that you can actually use, take off, and throw away and just replace with a new product. And the last thing I would say in this section for your undercarriage would be a Peri bottle that has an angle to it. I'm a bit of a Peri bottle snob. The hospital is going to give you a Peri bottle. It's a straight Peri bottle. The reason I like this one better is that first off, it holds more water, so you can get a really, really nice clean on it. But that angle, it makes it like a personal little travel bidet, and you can spray basically everywhere you need to go in an upside down manner. It just makes things really, really easy. So if I were you and I was at Walmart, I'd grab one. The tech section, there's really only one thing for me in this section, and that is a very, very, very long charging cable for your phone. I'm going to tell you, we use our phones for absolutely everything, and it is out all of the time when you are giving birth and you are postpartum, because you're taking all of the amazing pictures and videos, and then you give birth to your baby, and now you're looking at the little person that you made, and of course you're going to take about a bazillion photos, which I strongly encourage, but that really sucks the battery life out of your phone. But if you bring like a regular charger, sometimes the plugins in hospitals are in like the absolute oddest places, and you'll end up with like plugging your phone in behind the bed, and then it will only reach to like here, and then you're trying to like look on your phone and do stuff. So if you have a really, really long phone charger, it's going to be super beneficial. You'll be able to use your phone and keep it charged up. You might also want to consider a power bank, but if you have that long charging cable, you should be okay. And now my favorite section, the treats section. I'm a treats monster.
Snack time! Nom, nom, nom.
I'll eat treats all day, every day. So I had a lot of treats and snacks in my hospital bag. And some people are actually going to not be eating during labor, either because their provider told them that they can't, or their nurse told them that they can't, or there was a hospital policy. So I would love it if you would review the video that I've just plunked up top, because it talks about not eating and drinking in labor and the reasoning behind these policies. And then you can make a really informed choice as to whether or not you are going to indulge in eating and snacking during labor. And again, not everyone wants to, but if you want to, I would love for you to have the information. However, you crack that baby out. First off, I mean, pick your victory meal, girl. You did the thing. Well done. But then you want to have the snacks, especially if you're up at night and you're latching your baby lots, which you will be. So I always just go down the snack aisle and pick all of my favorite things. Like, really treat yourself. Think of things that are chewy, sweet, salty, crunchy, all of the different textures. Just load up your bag. Because again, you didn't bring your breast pumps. Now you have the room for the snacks. But also think about drinking water. I always treat myself with a new water bottle. If it has a handle and a straw, that would be always what I would suggest, because that's easier to use during labor, because you don't have to tilt your head back to drink. But it's just nice to have something fun and new to drink your water out of, but also water flavorings. Doesn't have to be fancy electrolytes, though. I do love these electrolytes right here, but just something to flavor the water, because after a while, like just plain water might feel a little bit boring, and you might want to just wake up your senses a little bit at like 2 o'clock in the morning during a nursing session. So I always say water bottle, water flavors, snacks, and then you can't go wrong. This was your bag from Walmart. Do you want a baby bag version of this video, or are there other stores that you would like to see me cruise through? I am happy to do that for you. Check out this one. Me and some girlfriends who are also OB nurses, we went to Target and we all made our own hospital bags, and then we compared. Interesting also to see what Canada provides for moms versus what the States provides for moms. So check that one out. I have big goals. I'd love it if you would subscribe. And as always, be happy, stay healthy, have fun. Bye.